This video, I'm going to break down how to finally lose stubborn belly fat and to keep your abs in only 6 simple steps. Despite working crazy hours, maybe traveling and being on the go, or not having a lot of time to dedicate to your fitness and nutrition. So if you want to learn these 6 steps and lose stubborn belly fat and keep your abs, make sure to stick around for the rest of this video. And for some of you who are maybe new to my world or maybe don't know who I am just yet, my name is Tyler Jones, and I lost 30 pounds of stubborn fat in only 4 months while working in the NFL as a sports sales executive. So just so we don't waste any more time, let's jump right into the video. So step number 1, guys, is mindset. And that is the foundation for fat loss. And one of the biggest mistakes I see, sports biz professionals make, and just people in general when it comes to focusing on losing stubborn belly fat, is that their mindset is not right and they don't have a big why. And that is the biggest foundational piece of your whole journey and staying consistent with it altogether. And the why is a personal reason for losing belly fat, and it's going to be the cornerstone for sustainable transformation to make sure that you're doing this for the long term and making it a lifestyle. And why this is important, because without it, motivation crumbles when things get tough, like when life gets in the way. Work is, in the busiest season of your life, you naturally will give yourself reasons and excuses to not show up for yourself and stay consistent with your health and fitness. And this is why you need a big why. And some key reminders is to write it down, right? Remind yourself of why you're doing it, like the confidence that you want to finally have in your suits or your dresses on game day, or when you finally go to the beach and be able to rock that bikini or take your shirt off, to have better energy, to do it for your legacy, for your family, for your friends, just have a great overall career. So when you look back one day, you're proud, just as a daily reminder, because I always think we don't need to learn new things. We always need daily reminders. And one of the biggest things as well is also overcoming the mind games. Understand that setbacks are part of the journey. You're always going to take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, sometimes 3 steps forward and 1 step back. So having the strong why helps you push through, those cravings, those fatigue, those hard times, or even when progress plateaus. And that's why it's super important. So number 1, guys, is the mindset. Step number 2 is make nutrition sustainable and enjoyable. And that is another big mistake I see, especially in the sports world, of when people are trying to juggle, their health and fitness around their demanding career, is they either go all or nothing, or always just focus on eating clean, or just being on one side of the extreme. And the reason why extreme diets never work, and because they're not sustainable, and 2, they're not enjoyable, which naturally leads to burnout, and which makes people either A, give up on their journey altogether, or 2, make this inconsistent pattern where you see results and then end up binge eating or just trying to de-stress. So maybe go out a weekend and throw away your progress for the next 2 weeks. And again, it's because extreme dieting is instant gratification, and anything that's instant gratification, guys, is not sustainable long-term. So you'll always find yourself losing and gaining the same 10 to 30 pounds over the next decade. So focus on flexible eating, find healthy versions of your favorite foods like tacos, burgers, and pasta to avoid burnout. So if you're someone who likes pasta, go for protein pasta, right? So you get extra more protein and for a little bit less calories. If you go tacos, get the 96-4 lean ground beef instead of the 80-20. So you can cut your calories in half, but get even more protein. And instead of the burger, go for a regular burger, but maybe without the bun, or a low calorie bun, right? Those are the simple changes you can make. And if you're someone who maybe doesn't like breakfast, I know the fat loss, a way to speed up fat loss for most people is just to skip meals all day, which is not good, guys. At the end of the day, it's another mistake, is because you still have to make sure you're getting enough protein and the right amount of calories and proportions for your goals throughout the day. So if you're just skipping meals and eating very low calories, you're going to end up hitting a wall and again plateauing with your fat loss. But if you're someone who doesn't technically like to eat breakfast in the morning and you kind of feel like you perform better, one thing I would say is progressive intermittent fasting is, again, I've done fasting before. It's cool. And again, it's worked for me in the past, but I also know for others it may not work. But if it does something that works for you, consider fasting protocols to control overall calorie intake without feeling deprived. So you can start off with 12 hours of not eating, and then a 12-hour window of eating, and then progress eventually to 16 hours of not eating, and then eating in an 8-hour window, like a 12 to 8, right? But again, the key is that you still have to make sure to get the right amount of calories and the right amount of protein within that window. Fasting is just not used as a tool to just skip meals. It's just giving you an opportunity to eat in a certain window, and it's good. It's going to help you just as a reminder for your mindset. Number 3 out of this nutrition is the protein is king. Aim for at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to preserve muscle, boost metabolism, and curb your hunger. Use simple options like chicken, fish, eggs, and protein shakes. Guys, protein is going to keep you full longer because it's very satiating. And again, it's going to when it's satiating, it's going to curb your hunger from snacking and just eating mindlessly throughout the day. So make sure to get your protein intake because it's going to help you keep your muscle mass as well. And then the 80-20 rule. 80% of your diet should be clean, goal-aligned meals, while 20% can be more flexible. And this is what makes the process sustainable. And this is the biggest focus for me when I worked in sports is the 80-20 rule, because on game days, you're not going to skip the burgers or, the team meal or the breakfast, whatever it is, always eating on the go and having to settle for takeout. So use the 80-20 rule where most of the week you're eating clean, healthy meals, and 20% use it when you're at the ballpark. Use it when you have to grab takeout last minute after a long day of work. And this is an example of what it can be, right? It doesn't need to be clean all day, every day, but this is what's going to help you create balance. And guys, just so I give you a visual representation, this is of me when I had to lose 30 pounds again. And you can see on the left, I'm puffy, no abs, stubborn belly fat, all that. And then on the right, you can see my six pack. You can see my muscles are popping. Everything is great. And this is all from focusing on sustainability with my nutrition, because it is 70 to 80% of the game. So if you want results like this, make sure to hit on all 4 of these and find what works the best for you. And if you're someone who maybe, needs a little bit more guidance on your nutrition, I created a flexible nutrition plan. You can go anything from calculating how many calories you need to eat daily, a bunch of recipe guides. Let it load up. You have a bunch of recipes, options to choose from when it comes to proteins, carbs, veggies, snacks, and even how to meal prep companies if you're someone who's just running super low on time, or even just a high protein snacks you can have at your desk, or even just throughout your day, and even fast food options, because we know in the world of sports, fast food is gonna be a part of the diet just because of the long days and the inconsistent schedule. So if you want access to this, make sure to grab it in the description below after this video. So let's move on. Step number 3 is movement. Daily, enjoyable, and consistent movement, guys. I always say walk more. Aim for anywhere from 10 to 15,000 steps per day. This alone can burn up to 1 pound of fat per week. And consider it your secret weapon. And this is where I see also a lot of people in the world of sports make, especially when they're not in season and maybe they're confined to their desk all day, is that they're not being active throughout their day. They're just kind of sitting there and just grinding. So when you're always just sitting at one spot, obviously your metabolism is going to be a little bit slower. Your body's going to burn less calories because, again, you're in a static state. So always make sure at least every hour to get up and move around for at least 5 to 10 minutes at the bare minimum, but you should be aiming for 10 to 15,000 steps per day because it's going to help you. And it's better to walk every day than burn out on intense cardio you hate. And with the walking, you can always kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you're someone who's very stressed out, you've had a long day and you maybe need some time to decompress, go for a walk, listen to a podcast, if you're catching up with sports and the daily news within it, throw that on while you walk around. I do it every day and it pays dividends because I'm always hitting 15, even sometimes 20,000 steps a day. So make sure to aim with getting your steps in. And again, you could do it through sports. If you like the treadmill and Stairmaster, go ahead, by all means. I have a lot of clients that play sports like pickup basketball, hockey, golf, walking all 18 holes. So whatever works for you, but make sure to hit the step goal. Number 4 is the strength training, which is going to build the foundation. I always say keep it simple. 3 to 4 strength training sessions per week are enough. Focus on compound lifts, your squats, your deadlifts, your presses that burn the most calories and burn the most muscle. And real quick before I go into a sample exercise, guys, of how you can format your workouts, a big mistake I see, especially a lot of people in the sports business world or former athletes, a lot of people always just gravitate naturally towards cardio. Right? It's kind of like nutrition. Everyone focuses on just eating clean versus how many calories to eat. When people want to get active and lose fat, they naturally just gravitate towards cardio versus actually lifting in the gym. And a lot of times it's because they don't know exactly what to do when they're in the gym and they want to feel confident when they're working out. But when you're always just doing cardio 24/7, you're neglecting your strength training, you're not only going to lose the muscle that you have, you're not going to build anymore. And then as you continuously do cardio 4 or 5 days a week, you're going to develop something called skinny fat. Because when you're burning calories, guys, it's not just fat. It's a combination of food. It's a combination of fat, water weight, and also muscle, guys. It's not just going to losing fat when you're burning calories. So you want to make sure that you're lifting weights, because at the end of the day, you don't want to become skinny fat where you have no muscle definition and you just have stubborn fat that's in your belly. And I've been on that side of the spectrum too, and it's not fun. You're just going to feel just as less confident for someone who's even 30 pounds overweight. So track your lifts, aim for small improvements, and don't worry about being perfect. And obviously, the more muscle you build, the easier it is to stay lean long-term, because your metabolism is naturally going to be faster, guys. So here's a full body workout sample. And I always say you can start with something as small as this for like 3 days a week, 3 to 4. If you barely can get in 3, go 2 to 3 just to get something started. But you can do your barbell back squats for this many reps and sets, the bench press, the rows, dumbbell lateral raises, and tricep pushdowns. And also, guys, if you're even more stretched for time, maybe you don't even have 35, 40 minutes, maybe you only have 25. You could do these workouts for 3 sets, 3 to 4, and then afterwards superset everything else, right? Because the dumbbell rows working your back and the tricep pushdowns working your triceps, opposite muscle groups. So you can throw supersets in there just to get in and out. And a superset is where you do one exercise first and then do this right after it, then take a break and then repeat the process. So if you want to, you can mirror something similar to this, or just even give you a foundation. Step number 5 is recovery. And guys, sleep and your hormones matter. And I see so many people in the world, not even sports, just in the fucking world, that neglect their sleep. Guys, no matter how much exercising you do or how dialed in with nutrition, if you're not getting good sleep, you will not see results, and you'll most likely plateau in a short amount of time. And that's because sleep is where your body recovers. It's where you build more your muscle back. You tear your muscles in the gym, and they come back bigger and stronger while you sleep. You're also burning calories and body fat while you're at rest, and your body just able to go through its natural cycle and perform at a high level. So I always say, if you're someone if struggling with sleep, follow the 10-3-2-1 rule for better sleep. So 10 hours before bed, no caffeine. I always say, just to keep it simple, don't drink any caffeine past 12, especially if you want to get to bed by 10. 3 hours before bed, no big meals, because while you're sleeping, guys, again, your body is digesting, which increases blood flow, which naturally keeps you up. So you cannot eat at least a couple hours before bed, so that way your body can, again, just shut off without having to digest food and stay up. But also, if you are someone who gets out late because you worked a game day or whatever, it's fine to still eat meals. There's always things like supplements, like magnesium stuff you can take. But if I know so many people that can just eat and go right to bed. So again, if that's not an issue for you, you don't necessarily need to follow that. But again, you can just a good rule of thumb to not eat right before bed. 2 hours fed, no liquids. So that way, again, you're not getting up and having to pee all throughout the night. So that way your body can go through a whole state of sleep. And then 1 hour fed before bed, no screens. Guys, screen time, you are absorbing so much blue light before you go to bed, when you're on your phone or your laptop or your tablet, whatever you got. So you want to negate that, maybe read, stretch out, do things to calm your mind down so you can go right into bed. But if you're someone who has to be on your phone, and maybe you watch YouTube like I do right before I go to bed, you get some blue light glasses, so that way at least your body's still going to fall asleep naturally because it's not going to be absorbing blue light, because the blue light blocks your body's ability to start the sleeping process where it activates melatonin. So again, make sure you're going to have blue light glasses if you're going to be on your phone. And then manage your stress, guys. Chronic stress wrecks your metabolism, and it leads to fat gain. Use mindfulness, breathing exercises, or short walks to rest. And obviously, if you're over 40, hormonal shifts like reduced testosterone men or estrogen in women can make fat loss trickier. So get tested and get adjusted accordingly. And that goes to get blood work done from your physician. So that way you make sure that your hormones are still in a great place. And guys, when you are stressed out, like I was when I worked in sports sales, getting like 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night and just always being stressed out, it intensifies hunger and craving because your body wants to feel better. It naturally wants to feel better. So food for a lot of people makes them feel good, gives them that dopamine hit. So I have always found myself binging late at night, or overeating my portions, or always going out and partying too much. So you can intense hunger and cravings, which is again going to make you overeat, which is going to make it hard to lose fat. It can slow your metabolism by suppressing your thyroid production. It drains your energy, so you're too tired to work out, so it's easy to skip your workout instead, and you just go straight home than actually go into the gym. It interferes with your sleep, which again is the cornerstone of everything that we're doing. And two, it makes it difficult to keep long-term goals front of mind because your body's in a stressful state all the time, so which gives you that brain fog, which again will take your mind off of always focusing on what you're working towards because you're just in a stressed out state. So if you want to avoid all that, make sure to manage your stress. Like I said, go for your steps, listen to your podcast, meditate, whatever you got to do, really focus on that. And also detach from the outcome. I know when you're chasing a lot in your career and you're trying to become successful, it's easy to attach yourself to an outcome, but remember you don't have you're not in control of a lot of things that produce that variable. So focus on what you can control and be surprised of how much less stress that you actually do have on your day to day. And number 6 is the final push. Stay consistent and adjust as needed. Measure your progress, tweak your diet and your workouts as needed, and keep pushing forward. I always say if you're not losing anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds a week, adjust your calories by like 50 to 100, maybe 200, and then readjust again. Track your progress for the following week. And if you're on pace, then stay there. If you're not, readjust again. Remember, the goal isn't just to lose fat, it's to keep it off for good. Again, people make this mistake where they always think I'm going to work my ass off for the next 3 to 4 months, lose the weight, but then they're surprised 6 months, 12 months later down the road when they put all that weight back on. So remember, you're not only just trying to do this to achieve a goal, you're trying to make it a lifestyle. Remember your why, circle back to the deeper reason when motivation dips. So guys, hope this video was super helpful for you as always. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn or Instagram and the socials, or just drop your questions in the comments below. More than happy to answer them. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to get more value on how you can start crushing your goals in your health and fitness journey. And if you're someone who's new to my channel, also make sure to watch the rest of my videos. Make sure to learn as much value as you possibly can, especially if you're someone who's dedicated to figuring this out on your own. I would rather you just keep doing that. And if you're someone who is tired of figuring it out on your own, you're tired of kind of spinning your wheels, being frustrated while you're trying to juggle a demanding career and finally feel confident, energetic in yourself and in your body and feel comfortable, click the link in my description and book a free call with me. We can take a deeper dive on a strategy session where we can figure out if we are a fit at all together, and if we are a fit, take a deeper dive into what would make the most sense for you and a custom approach and roadmap so you can finally start seeing success with your fat loss goals. And as always, family, Coach Tyler here. I will talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.